Well, it appears that we have finally learnt the actual cause behind. Remy Ma's throwing a fit about Papoose and the friendship between Clarissa Shield and, according to the streets, A.S., the Black Captain, is already unfaithful to hard work, everyone. What comes next? Following the messy turmoil that occurred last year, it appears like things aren't going so great between Easy and Remy. Additionally, based on the appearance of many things, Papo is not sorry about it and has been making fun of her instead for being betrayed after being betrayed by him. It appears like we are going to see a significant confrontation between these two. So keep your lace from falling off. Thus, let's dismantle this mess. I finally understand. You are all well aware of this. Yet it appears to be somewhat crazy that the manner in which Papo and Rhee's romance ended, yes, it did. He loved her so much after all. I fear he may end up in prison himself. When she was behind the skeleton key bars, and when law enforcement attempted to prevent him from meeting her, he made the decision to get married to her while she was incarcerated, and they were unable to even get married in person due to the limitations. Consequently, he married her over the telephone. Furthermore, if it isn't love, I'm not sure what it is. They possessed a genuine wedding ceremony as she exited. They had a mixed family and were in prison. She had already given birth to one child. 3 children were born to Papoose and Papoose before their meeting, when they all merged to form a single, contented family. Next, Remy, in 2018, they had a daughter. Additionally, on paper, everything was ideal between them. But people began to raise concerns over Remy and Papoose's union on Father's Day in 2023 and departed without even a scream from the audience. Out to her spouse that dropped Remy off because she had never missed anything before. A chance for prayer. Papoose for being a fantastic parent and spouse. She used to make a special effort to remember all of them, how strong their love was, and how their family was unlike any other. Thus, when she remains utterly mute on a day that ought to have been obvious for an emotional remembrance, people couldn't help but wonder if there was a problem. However, what if actual conversation was the Papoose's dream for himself to be happy? He posted the family on Father's Day, an image of him with the children. But Remy was absent from the image, and so was Rhee's other child from a previous relationship. Family is everything, the caption reads. People questioned why Remy wasn't included in the image and wrote in the comments, usually Remy would be in the photo. What's happening? Where's Remy? And you married a lady who was never truly and deeply infatuated with you. You, meanwhile, were utterly enamored with her. And how you see reality, it was obvious to everyone that something wasn't right. But no one realized the sheer number of things that had happened. Then there were rumors that Remy had cheated on him with no one but the Black Captain said. Easy. The circumstances were startling. Not just because Papoose and Remy have always seemed like rock stars. Sturdy, however, due to Ezzy's movement, as Papoose circles. The notion that he would slip around and cross the queue behind Papoose's back with Remy, and everyone was shocked. Of course, Papoose, however, did not take the treachery. Words of light on the streets did the situation become heated between them beside Easy, the bot commander, and him during a business gathering? Additionally, in accordance with those who said they were there, Papo didn't only confront him. He knocked him unconscious. Easy clowning, he attempted to be so harsh on social media that he denied that there was a fight at all, stating, "You guys want anything negative to occur to me? I'm devastated." Naturally, it's the same hatred of both men and women, yet you guys need to correct the story before any of you speak. In a different tweet, he declared, "I'm not angry with the Remas. I'm not upset over untrue rumors because I understand given who I am. Yet, when I witnessed cheerful folks, the likelihood that something occurred to me was tolerable. I now give 2 Fs concerning no one. We are not friends, and I locate and get it." At last, he requested that Papoose to cleanse the air. Come out and say, "Pap, you do real things right. Real men do real things. Bull, stop spreading these rumors before I do." It was foolish of him to question the young bull. Papoose, in order to make things plain when it's insane that he bounces on his wife. Papo didn't clearly respond to him or even make an effort to dispel these rumors. Yet Remy took the initiative to address the circumstance. She posted on Twitter, "I choose to apologize to everyone who was disappointed that we were unable to obtain 3 complete rounds from every adversary. I tried, and would you all kindly put an end to your pap and easy falsehoods? There's back at it. There's nowhere like Chrome. I'll see you all in August." The catalyst for all of this was that Papoose was quiet. Anyone who adhered to their relationship is aware that he was once a rider. Difficult for Remy. No inquiries were made. He never shied away from defending her. Whatever the case, when individuals began bringing up these allegations of infidelity with her and he didn't intervene to stop it, it spoke for itself. It was totally out of character for him, which in and of itself made individuals think. The rumors must have been accurate since, let's face it, a millisecond. A second, if it were untrue, then the first would have been Papoose, closing everything down. After all, he was the kind of man who praised Remy because he made statements such as a man has to pay tribute to his queen. If she doesn't agree, he must take her viewpoint into account before moving forward. He can't simply ignore her opinion. Contented wife, joyful existence. Babo's silence thus stated it. Everything, even without his saying a single word, his unwillingness to provide defense. Remy was louder than any words he might have created. At that time, individuals were sure that the rumors weren't merely gossip. But if there was still any uncertainty, when Remy and Iaz walked in, it vanished. Versus Giotti and the Rattlebee, let me tell you what was left. As soon as Gotti touched the microphone. If you know what a rap battle is, then you are already aware that everything is okay. Boundaries. Rappers are drawn to Gotti in blood. Accomplished just that. Rather than merely launching a jab, he headed directly for the put me on fire for cheating on easy Papoose. I'm not stooping to the company to assist. That might actually destroy your reputation. Talking and rocking, Ming Sil stands for black and Rima's is the posted child. The way Gotti said it, "I love you all," made it apparent that it was an open secret, and individuals have been conversing about the drama for some time. But Gotti moved straight ahead, so he didn't stop there. Proceed to forcefully tear Remy to pieces and drag her for having an affair with Papo after he has been faithful to her for many years. Interview, he expresses his respect and tells the world how he feels about his lady. Greatest kept you in the public eye for 6 years. You're all curious about the startling. This includes the fact that EAS didn't even attempt to refute the rumors and essentially verified that it wants to know who I desire. To find out if you heard the specifics of this, I prefer anything to a woman, and he is not dead. Rather, it's likely because I still obtain these side pieces from the women. These days, people are becoming more daring and increasing in volume every day. But Papoose never made public remarks on the drama, and rather, he decided to go swiftly with yes. Clarissa Shields is a new woman. You guys are the boxer. Ow, I won't lie. This was somewhat disorganized once more because, in reality, Clarissa and Remy were acquainted. Other because of Clarissa's involvement prior to her meddling and Remy's direct messages about Pep. Although Papoose, to be fair, and Captain Easy were likewise aware of one another. I suppose it was a little and just when we believed that. As the drama subsided, news spread that Papo was in those streets. He was now formally gone and knew the connection was becoming very serious. Typically, you would assume that Remy wouldn't have a lot to say given that she was Theon involved in the controversy. But no, Sis isn't handling it well. According to sources, she has been SPCA is being thrown left and right by Sperlin, and speaking carelessly while being explicit that she isn't going to let it fall proverbially without a fight. Hopefully because she refuses to wear that's Clarissa in that ring. It appears like she has been dropping hints that if she doesn't get what she wants, she is more than willing to argue over an argument. However, if Remy is in a loving connection with EA's, why is she so upset that her ex is moving on? It most likely has nothing to do with the fact that things are proceeding so well with Clarissa and Papoose. Recently, Clarissa professed her affection for Papoose and made a suggestion that she would, he ever asked her to be with him, say yes to him. LFI didn't. And it appears as though the objects and emotions are several due to Papoose's lack of shyness about showcasing her now. This definitely makes Remy angry, as she has attempted to create problems with Clarissa for some time, such as when she revealed her romance from the previous year and attempted to make. Papoose seemed to have been using Clarissa and not really fond of her a lot. She disclosed a text message that Clarissa sent. There she scribbled, "You take to him responsibly. It is you who is married. At the very least, sleep on the phone beside me or join me in individual. It shouldn't be a major concern to tell me. You made a house secure, or you spoke to yourself and slept off in the Clarissa," which sounded like a sprinter. One of the Paps wasn't very into her. Be direct, and she was mocked by Remy while writing. The Papo dunderhead dozed off and Clarissa's phone was lying in my residence, and he declines to go. This is believed to be a boxing world champion, and became frightened and disconnected as soon as she heard my voice. "I'm going to tell everything. Oh, and you're a baby girl. Not alone." She also asserted that a stain had been spread by Clarissa. Campaign against her, claiming that this woman Clarissa shills. I apologize that the publicity staff has been fabricating tales out about me daily to make me appear terrible. And he appears to be God's gift as well. Long. I pleaded with my father to light anything, to halt the story, and he continued advising me to be silent. And that's the ideal activity for me when I'm exhausted. He also stated that he would never fuck you because, don't worry, I observed that you're unattractive. Everything will now be seen by the globe. It too, since you're such a tough boo. Then, Remy proceeded to where the leak Morax appeared. As though Lissa was pleading with P for the naked. At the very least, I'm not happy, but I'm all yes, I have to quit. I don't want to cause any tension above and beyond who you are. Therefore, I'm just going to stop. My feelings are not justified. I'm simply sick of conversing with you. I can't, because you're not hearing me. But I appreciate your candor. The greatest choice is always that. You're going to do anything you feel like doing. I'll say nothing more. I request presents. I'm having a bad day. I say I like flowers. I'm having a bad journey. I need some time to devote to myself. I'm having a trip and I'm simply not sure how to feel. I'm lying here feeling foolish right now. Point. Pap had had enough of Remy's BS. Consequently, he responded to her at last. I'm sorry to hear that Remy is an egocentric. She decided to cheat over and over again now that I've finally moved on. She is acting like a victim. I have asked for a divorce on several occasions. She would prefer more social media clout than to handle it like well-mannered grown-ups. I don't desire to perform this stupidity on social media for the benefit of my 6-year-old child. She must attend school. As you can see, I keep calm while doing this. Then he discussed all the claims that Remy cheated on him and his companion. Simple. The BL. Well, the captain said I was at home last Christmas with my kid. This is where Remy was when I eventually relocated. She is irate and fabricating falsehoods. Narcissist. I suggested that we get a divorce, like grown-ups. She declines. Therefore, I wouldn't pretend I didn't leap out. I still received the texts from her pleading with me to fabricate the knockout. But it doesn't matter. I didn't return a single blow. Really soft. Lastly, I saw this chump once. He was in the fetal posture. It was seen by all. I woke him up after knocking him unconscious and spent 4 days at home with him. I stayed at home with my daughter. As you could see, she was eager to lie about it once more. I shook my head, egocentric. I didn't get rid of him as he's up with my spouse. He trembled, so I knocked him out, my hand before sharing a bed with my spouse. Clarissa also said, I'm unable to think a woman in her 40s is crashing out in a clown-like manner. Then Rico returned with, although I'm not yet 45, you are 29. To put it simply, you're not enjoying wine, but I'm not your adversary. Inform your boyfriend. Purchase gifts and flowers. And he didn't respond to any of his calls because he was with this week's collie girl. Not her asserting that Papo was unfaithful to Clarissa. But Clarissa revealed Remy for fabricating the wording and causing issues. It's insane that you're sending phony texts. I'm not a bee. You may be intimidated by your resentful and insane. You're making yourself appear foolish. Simply said, stop it. She didn't want to fight from Remy, stating Remy Ma versus Clarissa Shields. Come have your rear pounded on February 2nd, crash out. Furthermore, during an interview, Clarissa declared she would battle Remy for only $1. Needless to mention that these two have a deep hatred for one another. That being said, Rhee's boyfriend, a couple, was claimed by Easy, the black captain, a couple of weeks prior, when the males felt envious due to the fact that he bit Remy. Not only that, but in another rap fight, he forced Remy to confess her love for him. And he ultimately acknowledged that they were something he used to accomplish all of that. You believe that he was trapped in with Remy? Tight, huh? That isn't the case, though. Here, because sources claim that he has been moving covertly with other ladies for a moment. Apparently, he has cheated on Remy ever since the start of the partnership, since he never cut him off. When he and Remy met up, let's let Remy learn about his extramarital relationships from a few weeks ago, which is the reason she's been assaulting Papoose and Clarissa. The chronology sort of adds up when you consider it as well, because she made Clarissa's and Papoose's relationship in an attempt to end it and everything. Additionally, Papoose said that Remy has refused to sign the divorce papers and documents, and it appears that we now know why. I'm not implying, however, that Pap and Clarissa made the correct decision, because they were teasing one another when they were aware of Remy's dubious behavior. Even so, she followed suit. However, right currently, Remy appears to be on the losing side at this time. However, I suppose it is hardly surprising that EAS is already being cheated on, because how you acquire him, you lose him, and that's what people know him for. However, I gotta find out your thoughts on this untidy circumstance. Do you believe that Pap is genuinely attracted to Clarissa? Or was it merely regarding retaliation? Put your ideas in the remarks below. Then have a look at the following video.